For as long as I can remember, I've always thought about the priesthood from a very young age. It was always consistent and persistent. And it really was a true desire of mine when I was little. And I really attribute this to the countless of great examples of good and holy men that I knew that were priests, like my uncle or other pastors that I knew. And I just knew that around priests, something was different. I knew there was something different about who they were. And that really attracted me, even as a young age. And I would always exclaim to many people that when I got older, I would become a priest. I remember telling my pastor this, and he gave me one of his tabs to his collar, and I still have it now. And I also dressed up as a priest one day for a career day in Catholic school. I think it was in 5th grade. And so that stayed with me pretty much up until about middle school, because naturally the desires of the enticements of the world came in, and I let them. It wasn't just that too. What really happened was also what made me suppress the desire for the priesthood was when I was in middle school and a lot of news broke, and I found out that there were priests who did not live up to my expectations of the priesthood. It made me feel ashamed to be able to say that I desired this good and holy life, because everything for me in the faith that I knew was centered around the priest, and the priest was so important to me. And I see now how the Lord really drew me to himself through the priesthood, and that everything was centered on that. And you mix that with the kind of low desires of holiness I had as the enticements of the world came over me. It was a bad hurricane of just bad desires and no desire for holiness. So I didn't want to have anyone think that I was like that, because I had heard countless jokes about priests and the bad things they do, and I did not want to be associated with that. So I pushed down those desires as much as I possibly could, and I really felt trapped. I felt like I was betraying myself, and I felt like I was actually also betraying many of the good priests I did know. And I would tell my friends in high school that, well, I know many priests that aren't like that, and it's not all like that. But I was still not going to let that overtake me and bring my social status down. So it really wasn't until about my senior year in high school that I decided I wasn't going to go to college. I didn't want to do anything like that. I really had no desire at all to do much, because I had pushed down everything that was a good desire in me, and I didn't want to pursue anything. So I took a gap year and I started working, and it was only when I was kind of out of high school, a little free from some of the social pressure that I had, and it was in working and getting more invested into prayer and into my faith, that I once again noticed the Lord pulling me back to himself, especially through good and holy priests, because I remembered the priests that did persevere and that didn't hang up the towel when the going got rough, and that truly did inspire me. And in that, the Lord drew me closer to an intimate relationship with him, and it made me realize I can't put my trust in men. I need to put my trust in Jesus Christ, which is exactly what those good and holy priests that I knew did. And so that really gave me the courage to try to take the next step. And so I finally, recognizing this consistent and persistent desire of priesthood in my heart, that I was able to say yes, although with some reservation. I still didn't 100% know. And it was really kind of like a stumbling. I felt like I really feel like I just stumbled in the seminary in some respects. And I didn't ever discern seminary. I didn't know what that was. That idea was foreign to me. I feel like it was just a decision that I made and I had to make. And so with that, here I am. 3 years into it, and it's been difficult. Learning about seminary, academics, and everything that I really wasn't prepared about has been a difficult cross for me to bear. And, but as noticing other guys that were, higher than I was, I guess in the sense of they knew who they were and they knew their call, I thought to myself, I'm never going to make it. I would sit in the pew right where you are, and I thought I would never, ever do this right here. I'd never get my vocation story. I'd never make it this far. So I look at that as the Lord has been sustaining me in all of this, and he's been guiding me in every step I've made, and it's deepened my trust for him. I just came to the point of, who cares? Because ultimately it has to be the Lord that's leading me and that's giving me these desires. And so I noticed that in the good and holy priests, I knew the Lord was really drawing me to himself. And he was drawing me to just deeper fidelity. Because where I was unfaithful to him, he always remained faithful to me. And it took me a while to realize that. And that's the only thing that had given me the courage to say yes and make this step. And so, despite my infidelity and despite my own weakness and my own conviction and my faith in kind of those tough years and where I am today, I can firmly say, praise be Jesus Christ.